Liverpool in the 1800s was a city built on movement of ships and people, movement of goods, money, and ideas. By the early 19th century, Liverpool had grown from a modest port into one of the most important cities in the British Empire. Its population surged from around 80,000 in 1801 to over 700,000 by the end of the century. The docks stretched for miles. The river carried the weight of global trade. Smoke, sound, and ambition filled the air. In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic paintings, engravings, and prints to life, allowing us to shift perspective, change camera angles, and move through the same scenes in ways their original artists never could. We are not just looking at Liverpool from a distance. We are stepping into it. We are standing on its quays, walking its streets, and watching it change in real time. First, I want to talk about the river that made everything possible. This view shows the River Mersey in the early 1800s, wide and restless beneath a pale northern sky. In the foreground, wooden docks press into the water. In the midground, masts rise in dense forests. In the distance, the opposite shore fades into mist. By the 19th century, the Mersey was Liverpool's lifeline. Ships arrived daily from Ireland, the Americas, Africa, and Asia. Tides were strong and unpredictable. Sailors shouted orders, ropes creaked. The smell of salt mixed with coal smoke and wet timber. Daily life here was loud and constant. Dockworkers unloaded cotton bales, sugar barrels, and timber. Small boats ferried people across the river, long before tunnels or bridges existed. Seagulls circled overhead, fighting for scraps. But the river was dangerous. Sudden storms wrecked ships, many sailors drowned. Disease arrived with the ships, including cholera outbreaks in the 1830s and 1840s. The Mersey brought wealth, but it also brought risk. This river mattered because it connected Liverpool to the world. By 1830, Liverpool handled a huge share of Britain's imports, especially cotton for the textile mills of Lancashire. Later in the century, docks expanded with iron and steam technology. Today, the Mersey still defines the city, and ferries continue to cross the same waters, first crowded by sail. This view shows the old dock, opened in 1715, but still central to Liverpool's identity in the early 1800s. It appears enclosed, purposeful, and engineered for control. By the 1800s, this dock represented a new idea. Ships could be loaded safely, protected from tides and weather. Warehouses lined the edges, cranes swung slowly overhead. Workers moved in, practiced rhythms. Horses hauled carts along cobbled paths. Clerks counted cargo with ink-stained fingers. The air smelled of tar, rope, and grain, but congestion was constant. Accidents happened daily. A single spark could cause fire in the tightly packed warehouses. Theft was common, and private dock police patrolled the area. The old dock mattered because it changed global trade. It became a model copied around the world. Liverpool's system of enclosed docks gave it a competitive edge. Later, the old dock was filled in during the 19th century as newer docks took over. Today, its location lies beneath the modern city centre, marked only by plaques and memory. This view shows the Albert Dock in the 1840s, newly opened in 1846, built of brick, iron, and granite. It feels modern, solid, and industrial. By mid-century, Liverpool was embracing steam power and fireproof construction. The Albert Dock had no wood at all. Warehouses rose directly above the water. Daily life here was efficient and controlled. Steam cranes replaced muscle. Goods moved faster. Watchmen guarded the entrances day and night. Yet tensions remained. Workers feared job losses due to machines. Class divisions sharpened. Strikes and unrest spread through dock communities. This dock mattered because it symbolized industrial confidence. Prince Albert himself opened it. Liverpool was presenting itself as the future. Today, the Albert Dock survives beautifully restored. Museums and galleries now occupy the same spaces once stacked with cotton and tobacco. This view shows the Pier Head in the late 1800s, open and monumental. The skyline begins to rise. Steamships line the quays. By this time, Liverpool was a city of departure. Millions passed through on their way to America, especially during the Irish famine of the 1840s. Faces here showed hope and fear. Vendors sold food, officials checked papers, families waited, sometimes for days. The sound of steam whistles cut through the air. Disease was a constant threat. Overcrowded lodging houses nearby became breeding grounds for cholera and typhus. The Pier Head mattered because it was a gateway. Liverpool became the main exit point from Europe to the New World. Later, the iconic Three Graces buildings rose here in the early 20th century. Today, the Pier Head remains one of the city's most recognizable spaces. This view shows Castle Street in the early 1800s. Narrow and busy, lined with neoclassical buildings. By this century, Castle Street was the financial heart of Liverpool. Banks, shipping offices, and insurance firms crowded the area. Merchants in dark coats moved quickly. Messengers ran between offices. Inside, deals were struck that affected markets across the Atlantic, but wealth was uneven. Just streets away, poverty was extreme. Resentment simmered beneath the polished stone facades. Castle Street mattered because it turned trade into power. Decisions made
Liverpool,
here shaped
1800s.
global commerce. Many of these
Castle
buildings
Street
still
was the
stand
beating
today,
heart of the
and the street
financial
remains
district.
a symbol of Liverpool's commercial past. This view shows St. George's Hall in the 1850s. Grand and imposing, its columns dominate the scene. By mid-century, this building represented civic pride. Opened in 1854, it housed courts and concert halls. Crowds gathered for trials, public meetings, and music. The smell of horse manure mixed with perfume and smoke. Justice here was not always equal. Class bias was strong. Public executions once took place nearby. St. George's Hall mattered because it embodied order and authority in a rapidly growing city. Today, it still stands as one of Britain's finest neoclassical buildings, open to visitors. This view shows Lime Street Station in the 1830s, newly opened in 1836. By this time, Liverpool was connected by rail to Manchester, the world's first intercity passenger railway. Steam engines hissed and roared, passengers crowded platforms. Goods moved inland at unprecedented speed. Time itself seemed to accelerate. But early rail travel was dangerous. Accidents were frequent. Pollution darkened the surrounding streets. Lime Street mattered because it linked port and industry, completing the trade network. The station remains active today, still serving as a gateway to the city. This view shows the Ropewalks district, long and narrow streets stretching south. By the early 1800s, ropes were essential for ships. These long straight lanes allowed rope makers to twist fibers over hundreds of meters. The work was repetitive and exhausting. Hemp dust filled the air. Fires were a constant risk. As shipping changed, the industry declined. The area fell into poverty. Today, the Ropewalks survive as a cultural district, their unusual street layout still visible. This view shows crowded housing courts in the mid-1800s. By this period, Liverpool had some of the worst living conditions in Britain. Families packed into damp rooms, open sewers ran nearby. Children played in alleys. The smell of waste and coal smoke lingered constantly. Disease spread quickly. Cholera outbreaks killed thousands. These courts mattered because they exposed the cost of rapid growth. Reforms slowly followed later in the century. Most of these courts were demolished. Today, little remains, but their impact shaped public health reforms nationwide. This view shows Liverpool in the late 1800s, vast and industrial. By 1900, it was a global city. Steam replaced sail. Empire flowed through its docks. But the city was changing again. Old industries faced decline. New challenges lay ahead. Remarkably, many of these places can still be visited today. Streets, docks, and buildings still echo with the past. When we move through these AI-reconstructed scenes, the distance between then and now feels small. The people feel close. Their world feels lived in, noisy, uncertain, and real. If there's another city, moment, or scene you'd like to see reconstructed like this, let me know in the comments. Again, thank you so much.